When you're talking to someone, are you giving them your full attention? Are they giving you theirs? In my experience, people are paying less and less attention to each other when they're talking. And this ability or art or practice of giving undivided attention, focused attention, is becoming lost or it's becoming quite rare. And this video is going to be about how when you have a skill that is rare, it makes a big difference when you use it and you can stand out. This is something that is giving someone your full undistracted attention is something that seems like everyone could do. So it doesn't seem like it's some sort of rare ability or skill. But in the age of the smartphone, it is becoming rarer and rarer. And because of that, they notice more when you really are giving them full attention, when you're really present, when you're really listening, paying attention to what someone else is saying or doing. And that makes it valuable because it is something that is meaningful, right? Full attention, it builds trust, it builds connection, it builds belonging. When someone is really paying attention to you, you trust them more, you feel more connected, you feel like you belong there. It's like you're saying something worthwhile. If you're saying something, you're talking and the other person isn't really fully paying attention, well, you feel like maybe what you're saying isn't so valuable. And then you feel less valuable as a person and you feel like you belong less, right? And to feel trust and connection and belonging, right? Those are fundamental human needs. So people are less and less being able to get these needs met. And that's why you're hearing a lot about this epidemic of loneliness, even though via the internet and social media and phones, we're more connected to more people in one sense, right? Like digitally, we're more connected to more people than we've ever been, and we can reach people instantly, which was not available pre-internet, mobile phones, smartphones, and there's a few billion people online. It's crazy the way that we are connected in that sense. But in terms of the deeper human connection, that's becoming less and less. And that's why you're hearing so much about loneliness. And part of it is, people are spending more time just on the phones, on the screens, and not physically with other people. But there's this piece of it too that I'm highlighting in this video, which is people paying attention. Because when you're not, and people being present, like fully there, paying attention, fully there, not have their mind and attention somewhere else. And because that makes you feel more lonely, right? If people are not paying attention to you, you feel more lonely, even when you're with other people. Have you ever experienced that? Have you ever been hanging out with other people and you still feel lonely, right? Which seems like a paradox. But I'm with people. How am I lonely? It's because you're not fully feeling connected. And a lot of it has to do with this piece of paying attention. Of course, there's other aspects of it. But in other words, if you're not comfortable being yourself, if you're not being your authentic self, you're also going to feel less connected and more lonely. So it's not just about paying attention. That's just one aspect of it. But when people are really paying attention to you, you feel more comfortable to be your more authentic self. Versus if you have to fight for someone's attention, you are more likely to be something that you think can hold their attention and take them away from the cell phone, which is, I don't know, let's keep using the word attention grabbing, but it's so stimulating. It's stimulating. It's firing off dopamine and other brain chemicals, and so you're getting like a high, right, from the phone, and so it's hard to compete with that. And to compete with that, you're probably not just being your authentic self. You're not relaxing. You're like trying to get someone's attention and make hand motions, yell at them, whatever. And point being that this is a real problem. And there's the famous Gandhi quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world." It starts with you doing that, paying more attention, being present. So one thing, of course, is to put away the devices. The cell phone primarily is the issue here, the smartphone, and put that away, put it on airplane or silent, and make eye contact with the person, really listen. When you realize you're getting lost in thought, come back to the present, right? Mirror body language, validate how they're feeling. Don't just respond to what they're saying, but validate their emotions. These are general tips about how to pay attention and have someone actually feel like you are paying attention to them. But the thing is that all those tips aside, if you are really fully paying attention and present, you don't need any tips, right? Like the person will feel it. But it does take some practice, especially when you're not used to being fully present. It does take some practice to be fully present. And mindfulness meditation is something that I do that is all about becoming present. And there are practices like that. There's a famous book called The Power of Now, which is a little out there for me. It's a little woo-woo, but it has, the whole thing is basically about being completely present. And when you're completely present, you're not in your mind. And so just a basic way to practice being present is to focus on something that's not your thoughts. The most common one in meditation being your breath, right? You're just actually paying attention to your breath, not trying to breathe in a certain way, but just paying attention to your breath. But you can also pay attention to sound or just stare at something and just really look at it. And you'll notice that you start to feel different when you're just like completely just like staring at something and not thinking about it. And you'll notice a calm and a presence coming over your body. So you can do it with sight, sounds, anything, but the idea is to focus on something out of your mind and then you'll start to feel more present. Now, it's easier to practice with, say, the breath or looking at something or listening to something than it is listening to something, meaning just general ambient sounds wherever you are. It's harder when you're talking to someone and because when whatever they say is going to stimulate your mind, you're going to be activated. You're going to be thinking about what they're saying, even if you are paying attention, right? And then the mind can start to go off in various directions and you can start to become less present because you're going off into your mind and you're thinking. And so that's an issue, I think for everyone, but certainly for me. And the practice is to catch yourself. It's not to stop your mind or stop this getting lost in your mind, but it's just to catch yourself and realize that you're lost in your mind and you're no longer paying attention to the other person and come back to the other person and pay more attention to how they are, what's their state, look at their body language, feel their general energy or state of being, and then tapping back into what they say. And the point is that you just keep catching yourself when you get lost in your own mind and come back to what they're saying or what's going on with them and the interaction that you're having. And one reason I'm noting this is that because I have developed this ability or skill or just practice of being present and paying attention, people notice it, like people respond to it. So it's not just that I'm observing that other people are not paying attention and criticizing. I'm actually getting positive reactions for the way that I'm being present and paying attention. And so the fact that this is and I'm hearing it more and more, it's not a new skill for me or a new ability, but I'm just hearing it more and more lately that people are like responding to, wow, you really pay attention. I really feel like you're listening to me and I really feel seen and heard. And so I'm like, just noticing that people are giving me this compliment a lot lately. And I'm like, okay, so that means I'm standing out, right? That it's more unusual, right? Because people are commenting on it. And so to me, that's just another sign of like why I'm encouraging you to do the same, is because if it's a rare skill that people you like to be paid attention to, you like to feel seen and heard. That's a basic human need and desire, and why people do a lot of things is to being seen and heard, right? I'm making this video to be seen and heard. People are all internet content, social media content is people trying to be seen and heard. So this is a basic human need. And when you meet people's needs, right, especially like a big one like this, they will reward you for it in some way, right? Could just be that they like you more. Could be that they want to do whatever, business, romance, friendship, whatever, other things with you, but the point is that they'll be attracted to you, right? Because you make them feel seen and heard. And so people are going to naturally attract towards the people that are meeting their needs and making them feel seen and heard. So this is something that I'm paying more attention to in myself, and okay, how could I apply this more? If this is a rare skill that I seem to be good at, how could I apply it more to make more of an impact, right? And further my life in various ways, which includes financial, right? I'm not, a lot of these videos I've been making these videos every day. You can look at my YouTube channel for 40 something days now. A lot of them I say stop focusing on money, but I don't mean don't focus on money, just stop making that the primary thing. I am actually thinking about, could this skill work into something that does bring me financial rewards, some sort of one-on-one coaching, for example, because that could be a service that involves using this skill. So it's just the kind of thing I'm thinking about, and also part of my bigger messages that I keep hammering on in these videos is like developing your own unique skill set, right? Where you can stand out. So I'm noticing that this skill is standing out. Okay, so then I'm thinking, how can I work this in, right, to whatever my offer is, my profession, my pursuit, everything, my life. That's where my mind is, and like I was saying in these videos, I'm just documenting my journey right now, right? This is not really meant to be like a course, right, or definitive answers. I'm just documenting my journey and what I'm learning along the way, and sharing it with you, and hopefully you can get something from this and apply it in your own journey, and keep going along with me on my journey, and we'll do it together. And you can reach out to me in the comments or on another social media and tell me, about your journey and how it's going for you. And are you paying attention to other people? And are they paying attention to you? Thanks for watching. Go out and really give someone your undivided attention today, and see how it affects the interaction. And consider that it really does meet people's basic human needs to feel seen and heard. And so it's a good deed. Beyond, at the least, it's a good deed. You can make someone feel good, but then see what it leads to. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video.